Hello, good morning to you all. Well, it's morning for me anyway. And yes, last time I did a video did it on getting resources, and for some reason my microphone uh, didn't work halfway through, and I didn't realize, so I'm gonna have to do it again. So we did an episode on basic tutorial, which you see above. Now we're gonna do the getting resources. So here we go. Let's click on getting resources. Wait for it to load. Yeah, so the delay in the uploading the video was due to the fact that I have to redo it. And here we are. So let's wait for the reload and we can start talking more about how to get resources in Soviet Republic workers and resources. So hopefully any minute now it shall work. And it's still not working. Ah, it hasn't normally taken this long. Oh, here we are. Something's happening. Okay. Must be Windows Update. So here we go. So let's see what we have to do. We have to build a gravel mine, and the gravel mine has to be built on rocky hills, and the more rocks surrounding the mine mean better efficiency. So this is the rocks, and we have to build a mine there. So it's pointing here under the industry section. It's telling us to do miscellaneous, gravel, and gravel quarry. So we're going to put the quarry there. So I'm using my mouse wheel to rotate, and then when it goes green like that, I can place it. Okay, so what's next? So we got the gravel mine there. If you zoom in, there it is, little hut. It's saying we need to buy an excavator for the gravel mine. The gravel mines require an excavator or workers to function properly. Now the excavator is going to obviously dig up the gravel. So let's get an excavator. Having trouble saying that. So to do that, I need to click on the actual mine, because sometimes what's confusing is you got a road depot and you click on the road depot to buy vehicles, but in this case we have to buy a vehicle which is going to work with the mine. So click on that, click on this buy new vehicle. There's two there, one's in dollars and one's in, I think, rubles. So for this tutorial it's rubles. Oh, you see the workers going in already, like into the hut. See them? There you go. There you go. They're not really dressed for the job, but there you go. So let's buy the new vehicle. Tell us to buy the excavator, and it places the excavator there, which is pretty cool. So I suppose he's going to go off to work now. I don't know whether we have to actually tell him to hurry up and go. No, there's no start button, because sometimes there's a start button, like in the last episode. We had to click, we had to put two bus stops and then click the bus start button, but it looks like this one hasn't got one. Well, we'll keep an eye on it and see if he gets to work. So raw stone has to be properly processed into usable gravel. So obviously that excavator is going to dig up the stone and we're going to process it into gravel. So next thing we need to do is we need to place a gravel plant. So let's spin it around using the mouse wheel again to spin it around. So there we go. There's our gravel processing plant, conveniently next to our quarry, which means that we don't have to go far to take the stone from the quarry. Right, so now that we have to buy a vehicle that is able to transport stone, different vehicles can transport different cargo. So this is what we look at now. You always have to pick the right one for the job. So let's use my WASD keys to move about. WSAND just to move about. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. This is a road depot. And then here we can, sorry about that, very noisy. We can buy a vehicle. So I'm going to click on the vehicle. We can, I suppose, scroll through here, but it's telling us to click on show all and a dumper. So we look at the dumper. It's saying here, if you hover over it, that it can take 10 tons of gravel and coal ore and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to click on that to buy it. And it says that Lenin will be proud. Cool. And then we click on that. Double click. Actually, it doesn't say double click, but it's a double click. And now we do what we did with the bus. We've got to click on a new stop. And of course, the first stop is going to be the mine. And the second stop is going to be the gravel processing facility. There you go. So now we've got to tell it to start. Like, we didn't have to do that for the excavator, if you remember. With the excavator, it assumed already that it was part of the mine. So you see, I think if you zoom in on the excavator, it's actually not doing anything at the moment. Okay, but let's click on start. So our vehicle, and let's follow him. Where's he gone? There he is. So if you click on him and then click on his I button, you can see where he's going and see what he's doing. So he should be going now to the mine, and he should be loading his lorry with dumpster with his stone. There he is. Oops, where's he gone? So there he is. Has he loaded anything up? Oh yeah, the excavator's working now. Look, see, he's moving. He's putting the stone inside the lorry. And when he's ready, let's have a look at the lorry here. Oh, he's going off now. And he's going to the gravel plant, and he's going to dump it all in there. Oh, there it is. And that's going to be processed and come out of the factory, look, as usual, gravel. You see? That's cool. So that's what the quarry does. Now it's telling us to go and build a wood cutting forest. So we'll go over here and again go to miscellaneous and click on wood cutting post, and I'm going to place it there. So as it's building, let's have a look. We need to buy a vehicle for the wood cutting post. So like we just did with the quarry, the mine, we built a vehicle by clicking on the actual resource itself. So in this case, we need to buy a wood cutting vehicle. Sorry, a transporter vehicle which will transport wood from the forest. So let's click on here, buy new vehicle. This time, look, it's an open hull, and if you hover over it, it tells you that it can take 9.7 tons of wood. Okay. So I presume there he is. He's off on his own to try and collect wood. So we don't have to do anything else with him. Now, as we did with the gravel plant, the mine, we need somewhere to process the wood. So we are going to click on the miscellaneous button and the industry, because this is industry, all this is industry, and then there's subcategories in there. Then we're going to click on the sawmill, and again we're going to place it by the wood cutting post. Now earlier on, I think what we did with the gravel plant, it had these connections already, but with the wood cutting post we need to create a connection, which means that the wood will go via this connection to the sawmill for easier processing. So under there, general cargo here, cargo and storage, we click on factory connection, and then we click and drag until it goes into place. So now you can see this guy collecting the wood. And he's going to take it here, and it's going to get processed in here in the sawmill. So we could go back to that. Let's see how much he's got in his... Oh yeah, here we go. So he's got 7.2 tons of wood in his lorry. When it reaches 9.7, he'll probably make his way to this wood cutting post. There you go. Oh, actually, he's only got 8.2, so he didn't get as much. But he's going to come over here now, and he's going to place it in here, and that's going to go along the factory connection into the sawmill. So there's his wood logs. There they are. Are they actually being processed? Oh, there you go. See, and they're being processed into usable wooden planks. So that's really cool. So the next thing we need to do is now build an iron mine. So the iron mine is going to be here. Later on, I think we'll learn where to place these mines. I think obviously the trees is obvious, and so is the stone, because you can see it. But with the mine, I think there's other ways that we can find out where to build the mine. So we're going to click on metallurgy this time. Click on iron mine and do the same thing we did earlier on. Place the iron mine down, and as it's getting built, we need again to process that raw iron, and we're going to build a processing plant. So under cargo and storage, was it under cargo and storage? I can't remember now. Anyway, we're going to steel here. We're going to build an iron processing plant. There we have it. So again, we've got to connect these two. As soon as that's built, this time we're going to build a conveyor. Now a conveyor will transport resources between buildings, and the difference in the conveyor is that engines are used to transport these resources over certain distances. So we're going to click on cargo storage again, click on conveyor, engine, conveyor engine, because we need to stick conveyors on it. So now that we built the engine which will be responsible for the conveyor belts, we can build the actual connections themselves. So click on these 2 points and then click on this point, and from the engine to the processing plant. Right. So now that we've done that, you'll see that the ore will be transported from the from what it's called now, the mine, into the processing plant to make process the iron into something like steel or something. So now that we've done that, we need to build a cargo aggregate loading station, which we haven't built before. So we didn't build one here and we didn't build one here, but I think these will allow us to transport the material. So let's see what this does. Click on here, road and truck. Okay, so I think this is like a loading station, and it says there that we can't get anything to it because we have not connected it. So again, we need to go to cargo storage, build connection, and off we go. So if we zoom in now, we should see that iron's being actually pushed into this loading station. But now we need to buy a vehicle again. So let's go. This is the confusing bit. Now we got to, instead of buying a vehicle from here, like we did with the wood and the gravel, we got to go here, which can be a bit confusing. But there you go. So click on buy new vehicle, show all again, and another dumper truck. And if you see here, if we hover over it, it says that it can transport iron. So let's click on him. Now we've got to set up the vehicle. So double click this time, add the first stop, which is the iron processing plant, and this time it's telling us we need to place it in here, which is Malno, and that is for a town. So what I think this is going to do is do the transport the iron to the town, to the export point, I believe. Yeah, customs house. So all resources delivered to this custom house will be sold for rubles, which we mentioned earlier on, and gives you a list of who's working there, etc. So this is going to be exported, which is why we have to send them over there. So let's click on start. We keep forgetting to do that. Don't forget, you must click on start after you set the route. And this guy is going to go and get some iron. Oh, he's gone. So there he is. Zoom in on him. So there's what we built earlier on, look. The loading station here. Let's get into this. These red marks only are there because of the tutorial, so they'll disappear when you play the game. So he's going to go in here, get the iron. There you go. So he's got the iron, and he's going to take it over to Molnar, which is going to be sold. So next, do the next step, which is a farm. So again, you just click on industry, click on a small field, and we are going to move over here with our WASD keys and rotate with a middle mouse, and then left click to place. So there's the farm, and now we've got to build a... Oh, hang on, what's that? That's a farm, yeah, a small farm, and then he wants us to build a field. So the farm and the field are going to be separate, of course. So we built the farm, now we build the field. So there's the field next to the farm, and now a tractor. So again, we have to buy the tractor from the farm. Let's click on the tractor. Okay, and he probably will end up going to do the stuff himself. Let's click on the farm again, because we have to buy a combine harvester. And now that we've done that, I think those vehicles should automatically... There he is. He's coming out, look. So he's gonna go and do the farm bits over here. And now we need to buy a covered hull vehicle, like we did for the stone, but this time it's covered because it's obviously going to be food. So let's click on that. And if you look, hover over here, you'll see that crops and food. So click on that. And he will deliver the food, but it doesn't say where. Okay, go back to that. Now we've got to build a pump jack. Now the pump jack is for oil. So here's where we've got to put the oil. Again, in industry, oil, and a pump jack. There you go. So there's going to start pumping the oil out of the ground. And now we've got to build a pumping station. And that was going to fill a train with oil. So, okay, click on here, trains, and cargo. There we go. So that's going to accept deliveries. And again, we need to build a pipe this time between the pumping station and the loading station. So now we've got oil coming from here through this pipe into into this load and unload component. And now we've got to build a train depot because we need a train. There we go. So that's where our trains are going to come out of. And of course we need rails, so we're going to build a rail from here to the loading station, and then we're going to connect the loading station. Let me just spin this around. Middle mouse hold and spin. Connect rail to here. Oh, didn't work. Let's try it again. There you go. So now we've got to tell the train. And we've got to buy a train first of all, of course. So we're going to buy a locomotive. And click on show because we need to buy some wagons. Okay, so we bought the locomotive, which needs to power, obviously pull these carriages. And then now we've got to select the first waypoint. So double click on the train again, which gets confusing because most of it's single click and this double. So like we did before, new stop. First one's going to be the oil unloading station. And again, it looks like we need to go to Molnar. So we're going to be exporting that. And then click start. So the train, let's have a look at the train itself. As he comes out of the station, there he is. I like trains. So he's going to pick up the oil. Can you see the oil coming down there? You can't. It's difficult to see. Once he's got oil, he's going to take it to Molnar. You can actually ride on as well by clicking this. See? So that's it. So that's all for this tutorial by the looks of it. I just want to know what happened to this truck. He's not actually transporting anything anywhere, but I think we'll get back to that anyway. Excuse me. So that's part 2, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen part 1, you can catch up with that on our channel. I'm going to create a playlist for this particular game, and the next episode we'll do the next tutorial, and once we've finished all the tutorials we shall start an adventure in the game itself. So thanks for watching, and speak to you next time.